Hi friends, it's Maya coming to you with another video, my friends, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create more storage on your phone. Here we go.
If you have ever ran into the case where, especially if you have these older phones, I'm not talking about the, the brand new guys, I'm talking about the people with older phones who don't upgrade often because one, we can't afford it, and two, it's just not practical. So what you're gonna run into is the longer you have a phone, the more storage things are gonna take up. And one thing about older phones is that they have a slot called the SD card slot, where all that means is that you can insert an external card, which is one that we've got right here. And boom, all of a sudden you have another place for you to put your memory, another place for you to store more music, more photos, more videos, more apps, which is where a lot of people usually kind of go to these secondary sources. Like, just think of this as like a USB just for your mobile. So again, this is the micro SD card. If you guys are older, you guys might know that they came in a bigger size, something similar to this. So they kind of phase that out, and then for smaller things, they have these ones. So this right now is 128 gigabytes, which is, whew, those are what the new iPhones come in right now. That's where their starting memory is. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a lot of memory. For any content creator out there, you're gonna run into this issue where you don't want to delete your stuff, but you don't want to keep them on your phone. So it's like, okay, what do I do? So this is the simplest solution, okay? So just kind of walk with me and follow me as I open it up, and I'll try and explain it as we go. All right, so right now we have to find out if this phone is even compatible. Just for some background context, this is I think it's pronounced Huawei. So it's honestly an amazing phone. I love this phone. They don't have it in Canada anymore, but this is a Huawei. It's from about 2009. So it's an older phone, but we got to pop it out and see if, okay, what are our options for an SD slot? So right now, as you guys can see, if you look around the edges of your phone, right? So as we know, that's the charging port. Right? I don't even know if this one has an SD slot, to be honest. Charging port.
Okay.
Right? We can actually check. So I'm going to use my handy dandy Google. I'm going to look at the phone type because I want to see if it even has the capabilities. Does it have an SD card slot? So I know that this is the Huawei. I think it's a P30 Lite. And I'll put SD card slot. And this is all that I'm typing into Google, right? So that's all I had to do. I had to Google it just to make sure that it's compatible if I didn't know what I was doing, right? So now that I know, hey, yes, it does have an SD slot, that's awesome. Now, me knowing what I know, like I said, right? I'm looking for that slot where I know that there's going to be a tray. So you know it's going to be along some of the edges, and different phones have them in different places, and that's okay, right? These are buttons. So I know just looking at this, it's okay. There's usually a dot right there, perfect, right? Yeah. And in that dot, that's where you're going to push a pin, and it should pop the tray out. Okay, so this is why I have my key here. I just put in this as part of because I always have a phone that needs to, open up. So I'm just going to look for that button. Or look for that hole, excuse me, and I'm just gonna put it in, and just like that, you see that pop out? You saw that? Okay, boom. When I pull that out now, I'm gonna pull this up. Ooh. Pow. So, just so you know, this is your SD card, right? This is your microchip, so your SIM card, excuse me. So this is what allows you to make calls and join a network. What we're gonna add is an SD card, which is gonna help increase the memory.
So are you going to add the big one or this is the one?
The big one. Okay, because this is an adapter. So this is
what do you use the adapter for?
I'm glad you asked. You see this computer right here? This is a Dell. I don't know if you guys recognize this. This says SD. Right. So these are both SD cards, right? But this is the micro because it needs to go into a smaller device. So I have to use an adapter so I can put this into this when I'm ready to take off the information and just put that big one into that slot.
Okay.
And now I can put it on my computer. in the quickest way possible.
I see.
So as you know, the closer you are to the source, the quicker the information can travel. So yeah, you can, plug in your phone through a cord. That might, just depending on your USB speeds, that might be the quickest way. But this is another great way. Okay. So with these packages, I hate these type of packages. One, I feel like they're terrible for the environment. Because you never know what to do with them. Do I recycle them? Do they go in paper? Do they go in cardboard? Is it garbage? Is it too thin? So I always suggest that you have a pair of scissors. And at least, with this one, it tells you, boom, use a pair of scissors. So I'm going to use a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut as close as this to possible because I want to just get right to the meat. So boom, I cut that. And now you guys see why my nails are so messed up. Boom. So it comes like that. Which is pretty cool. Look, see? Did you need all of that? No. Look how tiny that is. So I'm just going to come in here with my nails. Or I could just use the tip up here. And I'm just trying to cut around. Just so I can get into that card. And that card, I don't know if you can already tell. But it's a similar shape to this cutout right here. So that's where it's going to go. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you want to put it in, you want to pull it out. This is exactly the steps that you go through. Right? Obviously, hopefully you only have to do this once.
You're so great.
And it's all part of the game. I'm just going to try not to touch the metal parts. You just never know. You don't want to get your, hand oils all over it. And, I stay well moisturized. So I'm going to have some, moisturizer on it. And I just don't want that on the information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just flip that there so I'm not touching it. And I'm just going to try and line it up. Right? That's okay. Look at this. Boom. You see how that fits? So instantly I just boosted my memory by 128 gigabytes, which should keep you, well into the year. So now all I have to do now is pick that up, and I'm pushing down it just so it doesn't pop out. And I'm going to slide that bad boy back in. Look. So when I do that, now all you're going to wait is it says no service. As soon as your service comes up, boom, you're connected to your network. And then how do we test to see if we can, if we put it in, if the SD card is there? Give me 1 second and I'll open it up. Okay, so we are going to go into settings, right? And make your life easy. Find your search bar. And I type in memory. And it says memory card. So I'm going to click memory card. And it's going to say internal and memory card. So if you click the memory card, which is what we just inserted, we know there's about 128. So that's just the information that the software needs to run itself. But as you can see, there's nothing in there, right? So that's pretty much empty. And then over here is where my phone is. That's how much I'm using.
Wow. But, okay.
So essentially, you just doubled your internal storage.
For the space. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if there's like a new one you want to know, okay, hey, where is it going to record to, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. So you see if you come down here, so you might want to zoom out a bit just to get this whole thing. So this is still under the storage, right? I typed in memory. This is what came up. It says default location. It says internal storage. I'm going to click that and see if it gives me any options. I'm going to tell it, no, the default location now is going to be the memory card. And it says, make sure your new storage location is secure before switching locations. Your phone will restart and apply the changes. And we're going to play okay, and we're going to switch it. Okay? Why they're telling you about security is because security, means a lot just depending on the type of person you are. But for this use, for, just some content, we're not going to take it that seriously. We're going to just switch it out. And it's going to restart the phone so you guys know. So it tells itself, okay, listen, now any new media that I record is going to be used on that SD card. And then as long as you take out the SD card and you pop it into another device, you'll always have that.
So my friends, this micro SD card was on sale for Black Friday at from Amazon for $20 from, how much is this thing?
Oh, I think it's like $50. 128. That's a lot of memory. So, and that's a small body. So, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah. And now it's around $50 to $80 for one of these at from Amazon. But this one I got on sale for $20. $25, I think it was. But this was so well worth it, and thanks to my daughter for looking out and pointing to that direction, because as a content creator, I was struggling to find space on my phone, and I've been deleting stuff often enough, and then when I'm ready to go back to it, I can't find it. It's already deleted. So I figure getting a micro SD card was the solution for that. So that's it.
All right, so now this is like some, the next level tips. So as you can see, they're going to be named different things. I'll attach some links to this exact one. Heads up, she might get, I don't know if you're affiliated on Amazon yet, but if you guys might come across it, use it. She'll get a little commission check, couple cents. It all adds up. So right now this is the SanDisk. This is the Extreme, and as you can see, it has A2 for faster apps and performance. So that means that it's like almost like fine-tuned for apps. So sometimes technically all memory cards can do a lot of things, but sometimes you can optimize things to do different, So that's where this comes in. 128 is the size. The bigger you can get, the better, but you also want a reputable brand. Like, these are going to be memories, and once these items are damaged, if you don't have them in another place, then they're gone forever. You see in the size of it, it's easy for it to get lost, misplaced. So you kind of just want to keep an eye out on that. But again, if you're spending $20 for 128 gigs, like, walk, don't run. Or run, don't walk.
I don't think that price is ever we're gonna see that price anytime soon again.
No, Black Friday, Cyber Monday are the best days to shop for electronics. The next coming days, if you're Canadian, it would be Boxing Day. But as a lot of people have noticed, the American Black Friday kind of just overtakes it all. They go wild, and that puts pressure on our market. But we're getting some great deals. But don't get more than you need if you can't afford it. I want to make that clear. Get what you can afford, right? Get the biggest that you can afford, because when it comes to space, we could always use more space. So the speed now, this is up to 160, but it depends what you're using, what device you're going into. Speed can really never mean anything on its own, because again, it depends on what you're plugging it into. So like we mentioned, this comes with an adapter, so you could put it in your laptop, or say, for example, if you had, I don't even know what uses a full-size SD card. Maybe if you had like an audio recorder, it takes that. You could just use that same micro SD cards. So there's multiple purposes for it. But like I said, I don't think I've ever regretted buying memory. Makes sense.
All right. And this is basically it. This is the Huawei phone that I told you guys we used to do this. Now,
I can give you a little hint on this one. Kind of just going at the same pace. So now this is an Galaxy S10, which is an older version. But again, it's almost like the same setup, right? Excuse my nails. I was prying open phones. So again, this dot is actually on the inside of the tray. It's not on the outside. So again, grab a pin, and then you're looking right for that center. And then as you push it in, it's going to pop out, right? Is this phone on? It is. And look, it tells you, hey, listen, this is what's happening. Make sure the metal part, if you're inserting a SIM card to protect against crooks. Anyways, regardless, is that you guys know that this is on. So I'm not getting electrocuted. Nothing's really happening, but just showing you it's the same, go. Right? So again, hey, I actually want to switch phones. I put that SD card in the wrong phone. What do? Right? You could buy a new one, or you could do something better. And that means that you just pop that baby over. Shameless plug. I had to do that.
Shameless plug.
Right? Boom. So remember, I'm just popping it out. Ideally, you don't want to get your handprints all over it. So, boom. I'm just going to slide that out like that. Put that bad boy in right here. Right? Keep that. So this is the Huawei. Ooh. And that's why you really want to be careful with these things. They're so tiny. They pop out.
Which phone are you putting in here now?
So this is the Huawei.
Oh,
so I'm going to put it into, yes. I'm going to put it into,
Okay, again. That's okay. You just have to be slow, my friend.
Yeah, in all honesty, these things happen.
And they're quite sensitive. So you got to be careful that you're not leaving your oil grease all over it as well, right?
There we go. Second time's a charm. Bam. So that's going to be ready to go in a second. Boom. no service, and city phone, so we're connected. Great. Now I'm going to put this bad boy into my new phone, into my new old phone. So I just want to make sure that it's in the right place. Will this fit? There we go. It should fit flush. And when I say flush, I mean that it should lay flat.
Flat, yeah.
So if we had shut off the phone and then turned it on, you're going to have to restart the phone regardless when you turn it on, as you guys remember in the last one. So there you go. Now I just switched over.
We're good to
That's
go.
connected to Rogers and we're good to go. Right? I can go into settings again. So again, this is a Samsung phone. So we're going to, sometimes settings in a different place, but you know your phone best. So we're going to go into here. We're going to type in memory. Keep it easy. Spelling is, What's interesting is now you see how the different settings. So here we have battery, device, and memory. So let's click into there. What is it telling us? It is telling us that you still have about 2.7 gigs left in this phone.
Okay.
So right now, I'm looking to see, okay, how much is on the... So this one is getting actually full. So we're going to click it, and this says internal storage.
Right, and this is what I was saying. And you see the in-store storage, my friends, this is why I needed an external SD card. So because I make content, you guys as well. This is why we're all here. But yeah, 96% used, so I needed one quickly.
Yeah, but think about it. It's going to slow down your phone. It's going to slow down your performance. It slows down everything you're doing. It's almost as like, going for a run or a walk on a full stomach, right? You're going to move a little bit different, and you're going to be a little bit more sluggish than if you, had a light lunch.
Right.
So we're just right now trying to figure out on the S10 how to make sure that they're sending the new information to the to the external SD card.
Okay.
Okay, so as you guys could see, right? Isn't that like the little sign? That's like a little icon, right? Oh, say for example, I want to shoot a video. Like we're just using this in the context of content creating. So you want to be able to use your SD card that we just inserted as the new place to record any videos, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to click camera. You're going to open that bad boy up. So we just push the settings, right? And through settings, we're going to be going to, we're looking somewhere called, storage location. And instead of internal, I'm going to click it to the SD card.
So that's the new external
Yes.
storage. So you have to do that before you start to create your content.
Well, if you do it in the first time you open up any app after you insert it, it should give you a prompt.
Okay.
Like, hey, you're using this camera app. This is what's going to be put on it.
We're going to switch it over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that with a caveat is that it should also make like a temporary file on your actual phone. So in all honesty, I would say just move over your old stuff to the new spot and then record directly to your phone just for ease.
Okay.
That's just my preference. Just how do you put the information that's on your phone onto the card?
Yes.
Right? So that's actually the easier one. That's when you were going to go to your settings. I just like going through here. If you drag down, you'll hit your settings. So we're going to go into accounts and backup, right? So you're trying to back up your data. So external storage transfer. So back up your data to an SD card. So we're going to do that. Back up to. So then, but that's exactly what you would do. If you're just using it because, hey, I want to keep this in the archive, use it like a USB port card where like you put it on and then when you need to go back, you have to know what you're looking for and then you could pull it up and kind of search through it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
Awesome.
you guys. So that's how you do it. I hope that helped. Let me know.
My friends, comment below if you've used this before and if you're using a different storage. I would love to hear about it. Thank you for watching, my friends. Let's go ahead and say it. This is my time and I deserve something better.